Hello, everybody. Welcome back. You know what time it is? It is time for Week 9 NFL, well, not Week 9, Week 10 NFL predictions. Man, Week 10. It's going by. And, we're really starting to get out. We don't really know what teams are actually the best, at least 100%, you know? You could say the Bills. You could easily say the Seahawks, the freaking Eagles, all kinds of teams. There isn't a defined top team 100%. To some people, and like you got teams that were just supposed to be the best that are not getting close to expectations. The Detroit Lions are 5-3. Not saying they're done or anything, but they're really looking weak compared to how they looked last year. And then you have the Chiefs who are 5-4, generally a game away from being 5-5. At that point, at 5-5, the chances of them even winning the division are getting lower, and the chances of them making the playoffs are getting lower. So, last week's, I did pretty good with my predictions. I went 9-5. At least I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I went 9-5. Got most of my predictions right. So yeah, we had a good week in predictions. So let's get started with the recap, and then we'll get started into the official week 10 predictions. So obviously on Thursday night, the Ravens absolute bitch slapped the Dolphins. 28-6. This game was never close, and the Dolphins they're done. They made a few trades, not to get anyone, but they traded away a few players. Next game, the Colts got slapped by the Steelers, and then they went out and traded for Sauce Gardner, but they do have a bit of a problem, in my opinion. They gave up a bunch of draft picks for him. They gave up, I think, 2 first-round picks for him. I think either 2 or 1. And then I think a second or a third. But either way, at this point, they're essentially committing to Daniel Jones, and that's not saying it's a bad thing. But man, I mean, to give up those first-round picks, that's big, and really just depends on how this team will. I'm not going to assume they're done after this one loss. The Steelers' defense was actually looking good. Daniel Jones had a bad game, yes, but he probably will bounce back in Germany against the Falcons, but we'll see. I think overall the Colts should be fine. They're still a good team. They're still relatively on fire. This one game doesn't extinguish the flame that this team has, and I think they'll be fine. Vikings upset the Lions. JJ McCarthy looked really well. The defense looked really well. As I was saying a couple of videos ago in another prediction, I said this defense looked lost. They looked really good. Granted, again, divisional matchup, any given Sunday, they looked good. And yeah, I mean, Vikings, they're looking like they might be back. Although we'll have to wait and see how they really progress. And JJ McCarthy, he did look good though. Broncos beat the Texans 18-15. This is your typical gritty defensive showdown. Unfortunately, the Texans are 100% done now. CJ Stroud was announced to be out for this week. So, I mean, man, it sucks. It looks like the Texans are, I mean, they were probably honestly already done from the begin with, but now, they're really, really done. And better luck next year, Texans. Chargers kind of completed a nail biter against the Titans, but there's a huge problem for the Chargers going forward. Is their offensive line is banged up. I don't remember who it was, but one of their offensive linemen got injured again last week. Anyways, by the way, I'm gonna have to cut off the recap a bit short because actually I brought back pictures for each game, so we'll be doing that a bit differently compared to last week. Anyway, so our very first game will be the Raiders versus the Broncos on Thursday Night Football. I mean, this is a relatively easy game to predict. The Raiders had a nice game last week against the Jags, but they ended up losing. Was it 29-28 or 29-30? I don't remember. Point being, Raiders had probably one of their best games all season last week. Well, yeah, in week 9. They probably had one of the best games they've ever put up. They put up a good amount of points. Geno Smith played well. Brock Bowers played really well. But unfortunately, despite that nice height they had last week, it ain't going to be happening this week. And the one thing, though, I will say, I think Raiders fans at least should be looking at this as a good thing, at least with how they performed last week. Because this is what the offense, I mean, not 100% because the offense will get better over time, of course, when they get more draft picks, get more players, blah, blah. Obviously, next season, of course, in the future. This is what the offense potentially could look like with an actual quarterback. No disrespect to Geno Smith too much, but they obviously are going to move on from him after this year. I think that's pretty well-known information. They are 100% going to move on from him. There's no way they're going to keep him. If they are going to keep him, they will keep him to have a mentor the rookie that they bring in. So unless the Raiders choose to be stupid and bring in Justin Fields or Kyler Murray, who might be on his way out of the Cardinals next year. But anyways, that's what the offense could potentially look like in the future when they have more weapons and they have an actual quarterback. And the Raiders generally, I mean, they're one of those teams that are they don't have a bunch of talent, but I mean, I feel like if they can build upon it, because they do have some playmakers on offense, they have Brock Bowers, they got Ashon Genty, they got to build upon those two superstars and add more. And they also get a quarterback and then get a defense, because you got Max Crosby basically by himself on that defense. But anyways, they're facing a really good Broncos team. I know the Broncos offense isn't lights out or anything, or they are a high flying offense or anything, but they don't need to be a high flying offense with how good their defense is. They don't need to be a high flying offense, and they can be a high flying offense absolute randomly whenever they want to be a high flying offense. And the Raiders are a bad team, I mean, they got what? They got completely like shut out to the Chiefs, and the Raiders are bad. All right, we don't even need to go really too in depth in it. The Raiders are bad. The Broncos should generally have a nice time, and the Raiders might probably put up 3. To be honest, they might even put up nothing. They might get shut out again. But yeah, I got the Broncos win this game pretty handily. Broncos go to 8-2, and honestly, at that point, the division would be secured in their favor. I think. Like I feel like once they get to 9 wins, the odds of them losing that division are absolutely practically zero, unless the Chiefs don't lose a single game going forward, which I hope that doesn't happen. I swear to God. The Broncos, this division practically belongs to them, especially with the injuries the Chargers have on offensive line. I don't think they will be sustainable for the Chargers, at least. I think the Chargers, again, they'll be fine. They'll make the playoffs, but it'll be hard without their offensive linemen. But I got the Broncos win this game. Raiders fucking suck. So, yeah. Yeah, Broncos should win this game on Thursday night, no problem. Anyway, so the next game we have, obviously, the Atlanta Falcons versus the Indianapolis Colts in Germany. Did the Colts already travel this year? I feel like they did. I don't know why. I remember them traveling somewhere else. Did they go to London? No, maybe not. I don't know. That doesn't really matter. So we got the Falcons and Colts in Germany. I believe it's the first game of the German game series. So we all know what happened last week with the Colts. They kind of had a rough game against the Steelers. And then the Falcons, they had a solid game against the Patriots. They came up short, though, 23-24. But one thing about this Falcons team is they're extremely inconsistent. And this team, I will say, they have a lot of talent. They have so much talent on this team, yet they can't really put it together 100%. They're 3-5. I'm not saying they're done, but, I mean, there's a lot of better NFC teams in the conference, I think the odds of them even making the playoffs are getting lower and lower by the week. And the odds of, obviously, they're not going to win the division, probably. I think the Falcons, I mean, if they lose this game, they're probably done for the year. Again, this Falcons team is really inconsistent. They'll play a good game and they'll get slapped, Listen, I think I'm still going to go with the Colts just because they're still a good team. Oh, well, let's not get twisted here. The Colts are still a good team. They're not going to fall off a cliff. I know Daniel Jones had a really bad game. I think the only way the Falcons can win again or win this game is if they really make Daniel Jones uncomfortable. Because Daniel Jones, when he's uncomfortable and when he's pressured, he transforms from Indiana Jones, like the NFL likes to call him, to Danny Diapers or something. I don't know. He transforms when he's under pressure and he doesn't play well. If the Falcons can pressure him and generally slap him, they can win this game, but that's the problem. This Falcons team is extremely inconsistent, and I really hope we get a good game from both teams, and they put up a fight, and it's a high-scoring, mid-scoring game, 27-28, something like that, 35-28, 35-31, close game. So, but at the end of the day, I think I'm just going to go with the Colts. I think they're still a good team. This Falcons team, they're very inconsistent. You never know what you're going to get from them. And yeah, I just have to go with the better team here, I think. And the Colts should be able to win this game. Granted, it is an international game. So, obviously, that comes into play. It's in Germany, other side of the world, obviously. So, we'll see which team can really adapt to that better in Week 10. If the Falcons can handle it better, they can win. If the Colts can handle it better, they can win. We'll have to wait and see who can handle the travel better. And then who can take advantage of that fact? Because what if the Colts show up and they're not prepared for it and they're tired and they just don't play well, the Falcons will take advantage of that and win. Unless both teams show up unprepared and we get a slump fest of 6-3. But I don't think that's going to happen. Anyways, I got the Colts win this game. Colts are still good. They're not going to fall off a cliff, I don't think, just because that tough loss to Steelers. Guys, can I skip over this next game? This one's bad. Here we have the trash bowl between the absolute awful New York Jets and the terrible Cleveland Browns. Obviously the Jets were sellers at the draft. They were sellers on the trade deadline. They gave up Quincy Williams, whatever his name is, and they gave up Sauce Gardner. I'm surprised Breece Hall didn't get moved, or Garrett Wilson, because honestly, if I was either of them, I would beg to get out of that shit so too. But on defense, this Jets team just got worse. Granted, it's not like the defense was anything special to begin with. This is a bad game. Both these teams are abysmal. Both these teams are not good. It's going to be one of those games where, one thing I will say, I think the Jets offense on paper is better than the Browns offense, but the Browns defense is better than the Jets offense, and the Browns defense is also better than the Jets defense, if you catch what I'm saying. I don't really know who to go with this game, because when it comes to shitty games like this where both teams are fucking garbage, it's really hard to predict, because both of these teams are generally bad. But I don't know, I feel like there's the lowest point ever. It's just the Jets. They're the worst team out there, man. I think I'm gonna go with the. I don't know. I don't want to go with the Jets. I don't think the Jets are. I think the Browns defense is enough to absolutely shut them down. I mean, Justin Fields is a shitty quarterback, and yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Browns. I mean, even though their offense is pretty mediocre, their defense should be enough to win this game. And also, again, the Jets defense just got a lot weaker by trading their two best players on it. Granted, I will say the Jets definitely have a future, maybe. Without Justin Fields, I will say. Without Justin Fields, I saw some maniac under a comment under the post how many draft picks the Jets received. Some maniac said, "Oh, I can't wait for them to get more weapons for Justin Fields." And I just saw that comment and I was like, "Ain't no way they're keeping Justin Fields." The moment the season is over, right? The moment the offseason begins, Justin Fields either is getting cut or he's getting traded. He is not staying on this team longer than a day after the season is officially over. He is out of here, bro. I don't understand how people still continue to defend his sloppy, terrible play, and I get it. The Jets are coming off a bye, but that doesn't change anything. This team is still dog shit. Justin Fields still sucks, and he's going to be out of the job. All right, he's going to get traded. He's going to get cut. Something's going to happen. But I don't think any of the team is going to want to take a chance on him because of how bad he is. Anyways, I got the Browns winning. Jets are dog shit. So are the Browns, but the Browns have a better defense. Defense can win games. So I got the Browns winning this game. All right, do we have a nice matchup this one? We have the New England Patriots versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off a nice bye for them, giving them a chance to get healthy. Mike Evans is still out, unfortunately. I don't know who else is going to be in or out for the Bucs, but with that bye, I think it came at a good time. His team was starting to get really banged up, but really, I mean, let's get into this. So the Patriots are red hot. The Patriots are playing very well. Drake May's playing very well. The team is looking, again, the best they've looked since the Brady era. They have not looked this good in a long time. And, I mean, man, this is good, you know. I mean, the Patriots are looking good, you know. The Bucs still look good, too, though. Despite their injuries, they're still a great team. Baker Mayfield's still a dog. And, I mean, this Bucs team is still good. And this game is really hard to predict because do I pick a team that is also, again, very good, capable of competing with almost anybody, that's coming off a bye, that's had a chance to get a little healthier? Grant, again, Mike Evans is still out, but I don't know, man, because, like, you know, the Patriots are red hot, the Bucs are coming off a bye, you know, who's going to win this game? It is home field for the Bucs, so that's that. I don't really know what to go with this prediction because I like the Patriots, but I like the Bucs too. I think the Bucs can win this game. I think it'll generally be a good game. I think it'll be a very nice game. It'll be a close game, that's for sure. Like 35-38, you know, something like that. Maybe not that high, but It'll be a good game. I think I got the Bucks winning this game though. I think the Patriots, they're good, but they haven't faced the Bucks. They haven't faced the offensive firepower that the Bucks have, and they have a lot of offensive firepower. And again, not to discredit the Patriots, because I could be wrong and the Patriots could win this game. But again, I just think this Bucks team is really good. They're coming off a bye. They've had a chance to get a little healthier. And I think eventually the Patriots are due for a loss at some point, and I think that's going to be this game. So I got the Bucks winning this game in a close one, but the Bucks will pull away and they will get to 7-2. All right, back-to-back good games in my opinion. We got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Ravens are obviously playing with desperation. They're 3-5. They're going to be cheering for the Chargers, even though they don't like the Chargers either. They're going to be cheering for the Chargers to beat the Steelers because that's going to make the odds of them potentially win the division or at least catching up a lot easier. But this Ravens team, they're playing with desperation. But the Vikings just got off a really nice win over the Lions, which the Lions beat the Ravens. Not saying that means anything because, again, any given Sunday. But the Vikings looked really well in their win last week. JJ McCarthy, my bad. He looked good. Justin Jefferson has his quarterback back because obviously for the last few weeks he's had to play with the ginger man and Carson Wentz, who is not good anymore. Obviously, we all know that. So the Vikings offense can finally play to their full potential now that JJ McCarthy is back and healthy. So, and the Vikings defense can maybe, kind of, the offensive energy can maybe rub onto the defense and they can all cook. But this is a tough game to predict again. Ravens, again, they're coming off a good win over the Dolphins, 28-6, of course. The Ravens are looking like they're back too. Maybe. It really depends, and I don't know what to go with this one. If the Vikings can cook, then they can win this game. But again, the Ravens are a good team. The Ravens still have a good defense. They've been banged up. They're starting to get better. They're starting to get healthier. And I don't know, man. With the Ravens, they know the drill. They know if they lose this game, the odds of them making the playoffs are low. Just like I said about the Falcons, with each passing week, it gets harder for them to even get close to the playoffs. And they have to win this game. They know they have to win this game. And again, they're playing a tough Vikings team. I mean, they're playing a Vikings team that's finally starting to get 100% healthy. The Vikings also know it, though. They're 4-4. They also have to start winning games, or they're not going to make the playoffs or win the division. The NFC North is honestly kind of up for grabs right now because you got the Packers, who just lost to the Panthers. The Bears, they're 5-3. They share the same record with the Lions, and the Vikings they're behind the crowd. Yeah, 4-4. But with JJ McCarthy back, they could really make a push if all things fall into their favor. So both these teams are kind of playing with the knowledge, knowing like, hey, this game's kind of important. We need to win this. But I don't know, man. I don't know where to go because Justin Jefferson's a very good receiver. The Vikings have some nice weapons on there. But the Ravens also are a good team. So I don't know, man. I am slightly leaning with the Ravens. I think, is this game at home? Is this game a home game for an away game? Let me check. Okay, it's in Minnesota, so it's home game for the Vikings. But man, this is a tough game to predict. I don't know, man. I think... Shit. I'm going to honestly spill out a hot take. I think the Vikings could win this game. I mean, yeah, I think I'm just going to spill out a hot take right now. Now, that could be very wrong, and this could affect my record for next week, but I'm just going to shoot my shot. I think the Vikings can win this game. It's at home. They came off a very nice, fiery win over the Lions, and I think they can use that momentum to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Which the Ravens losing this game, I mean, not saying they're done mathematically, but the odds of them making the playoffs will get really low at that point. But yeah, hot take. I got the Vikings winning this game. I think the Vikings could possibly pull it off. It'll be tough. The Ravens are a very good team. But I think the Vikings can find a way to win. All right, next one. Honestly, it's probably a pretty easy one to predict. Bills versus the Dolphins. I know last time these two played each other, it was somewhat competitive. But that was before the Dolphins season was effectively over. All right? That was before they were cooked. They're not going to win this game. The Bills are coming off probably one of the biggest wins of the year so far over the Chiefs, really, that win over the Chiefs really hurts the Chiefs because again, 5-4. All right, they're just there's some games up ahead for the Chiefs' schedule that are generally going to be tough. And, it really just wonders, can the Chiefs even make the playoffs? And if they do, they're definitely going to be a wild card team. And honestly, I don't want to jinx and give the Chiefs energy to win. But, so we have the Bills and Dolphins. And honestly, Bills win this game. Dolphins are bad. They are a terrible team. They're going to be tearing it down probably at the end of the year, training all their players. Tyreek Hill's out. I mean, Jalen Waddle, if I was him, I'd want out too. Tua, he possibly will be out too, and obviously Mike McDaniels is also definitely out. This team is obviously again, this team is done for. 2-7, they're bad. We all know it. Dolphins are. I mean, they'll put up a fight this game, I think, but Bills should ultimately win this game probably with relative ease. So I got the Bills winning this game. Honestly, probably like by 30 points. So Bills win, and Bills win big. All right, next game. If this team was fully healthy, I would say this would be a bit of a better matchup. We got the Giants versus the Bears. I really feel for the Giants because Jackson Dart, he's playing really well, and this team is banged up on offense. It just sucks, and I don't think the Giants' defense will be enough to win this game. So, with the Bears, they're coming off a nice win. I mean, the Bengals, they really shouldn't have allowed that comeback to begin with, but they beat the Bengals like what 40 something. They put up a lot of points. So, with this game, the Bears are 5-3 right now. If they can win this game, obviously they'll be going to 6-3. Again, that makes the NFC North race even tighter. If Here's how this race gets really tight: is if the freaking Vikings win and the Bears win. Do the Lions play this week? I think they do, right? They do, my bad. Lions play the Commanders and Packers are going against the Eagles. If both Lions, well, I don't think the Lions are going to lose, honestly, but if the Lions can win, because since they're playing a banged up Commanders team, and if the Eagles beat the Packers, which I think they're currently in first place, right? Yeah, that'll make this race really, really interesting because then the Vikings will be 5-4. Both the Lions and the Bears will be 6-3, and the Packers will have all of those teams right on their ass. This race for the NFC North is getting really interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with it by the end of the year, but it's getting really interesting. And again, sorry, whole ramble, but Giants and Bears. I mean, the Bears are a better team. The Giants are injured. They're completely injured on offense. I just can't see this team really competing. It's going to be tough for them. I know Jackson Dart's really good, but he doesn't have his weapons, and it just sucks because I feel like this would be a much. I don't think the Bears would lose, but it would be a much more entertaining game if the Giants were fully healthy. So I got the Bears win this game. It just sucks how injured the Giants are because honestly, Jackson Dart is again he's balling out. He's playing really well, and honestly, he should have been the starter in Week 1 though. Like I know Russell Wilson, he's obviously former Seahawks quarterback. He brought us a Super Bowl, but really Jackson Dart should have been the starter in Week 1. Yeah, so I got the Bears win this game. They'll jump to 6-3, and that race in the NFC North is going to get really, really interesting. All right, another injury bowl game, sort of not really only on one side. The Jaguars versus the Texans. C.J. Stroud has been announced to be out for Week 10, and long neck Davis Mills sucks, so I'm going with the Jags. The Texans season is effectively over. It was really effectively over after the Seahawks loss on Monday night. Was that Monday night or was that Sunday night? It was Monday night. Um, yeah, I mean, this Texans team, their offensive line is bad. I know the Texans have a good defense, but I just don't think on offense they'll be able to do anything. This Jags team is still solid. They're 5-3. If they can win this game, they'll probably at least. I don't think they can win the division, but they can certainly come in second and make the playoffs. So, Texans again without C.J. Stroud, there's no way they win. I got the Jags win this game with relative ease. It sucks because the Texans, honestly, I like them. I like C.J. Stroud, but next year they got to definitely build that offensive line because they cannot compete like this. No team can play like this when their offensive line is terrible, and they just need to keep C.J. Stroud upright. They got to keep him, let him cook. I'm not saying because for the past 2 years, the Texans they've had struggles at offensive line and they still haven't addressed it. So this year they have to. I mean, this offseason, 2026, they have to address it. Whether it's free agency, trades, or the draft, they have to do something for the sake of their goddamn franchise quarterback. But Jags win pretty easily. They'll go to 6-3, and it makes again the NFC South race slightly interesting because it's really just the Texans and the not the it's just the Jaguars and the Colts in that race. So I mean, listen, sorry, excuse me. If the Colts lose to the Falcons, then the Jaguars would just be right behind them at 6-3. Obviously, the Colts will be 7-3. It'll make it really interesting. But overall, the Colts probably will win it, but Jaguars will be right behind them. So Jags win in this game. CJ without again, no CJ Stroud. It's gonna be a tough loss for the Texans. All right, next game we have the Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. Cardinals took down the Cowboys on Monday night, and my Seahawks absolutely handled the Commanders on Sunday night. So obviously, I'm a Seahawks fan, but let's get into this prediction. So the Cardinals just announced that Jacoby Brissett will be playing this game. Kyler Murray was just placed on injured reserve, even though they're secretly soft benching him because he sucks. And honestly, the Kyler Murray era might be over in Arizona. Who knows? But let's be real, man. Let's be real. All right. One thing the Cardinals do not have, right? You want to know what they don't have? They do not have Jackson Smith and Jigba. All right, they don't got a player even close to his level. They do not. They don't. You could say Marvin Harrison Jr., but really, the guy that Seahawks pretty shut down last time. They do not have the Seahawks defense, which has been playing very well. I mean, man, this is not even being biased. Okay, the Seahawks are a better team. They're red hot. They're 6-2. They win this game, they can get to 7-2. All right, stay ahead of the Niners. I know they play the Rams next week, but I think they'd rather have the Rams beat the Niners than the Niners sweep the Rams. So, the Seahawks offense is better. The Seahawks defense is better. They're a better coach team. They're a better team all around. I know the Cardinals, they gave us a bit of a trouble last time, but the Seahawks are a lot more healthier this time around. They're healthy. They're at home. It's gonna be good. I think the Seahawks will win this game. I'm not being biased. This is just a genuine fact. The Cardinals are mediocre. Sure, they beat the Cowboys, but it's the fucking Cowboys, dude. Like, oh, you beat the Cowboys. Congrats. That's not like a huge accomplishment. It's not like they went to Philadelphia and beat the Eagles. All right. It's not like they went to Buffalo and beat the Bills. It's not like they went to Denver and beat the Broncos. They beat the Cowboys. All right. Let's just say that they beat the Cowboys. And yeah, my Seahawks should be able to win this game. The Seahawks are better all around. And yeah, Seahawks are going to win this game. They're going to win big. And yeah, I got the Seahawks winning this game because Cardinals are mid. All right, next game is going to be a brutal one for them. We got the Commanders versus the Lions. This Commanders team, obviously, they are 100% done. Jaden Daniels suffered a unnecessary injury where he really should have been in the game at that point. They should have taken him out. But without him, this game is a lost cause. The Lions are angry. They're it is sort of a revenge game from last year's wild card round. Was it a divisional round? In the playoffs, the Lions are coming off a tough loss to the Vikings. They're going to be biting off kneecaps in this game. This Commanders team just doesn't stand a chance. Without Jaden Daniels, you can't trust Marcus Mariota to win this game. And this team is just injured. Their defense is not very good. This Commanders team is obviously have fallen off from last year. I think they'll be back eventually, but this year is a lost cause for them. And the Lions will win this game probably by like 30 points maybe. I don't think the Commanders can keep it close, especially with how injured they are. You saw what the Seahawks did with Jaden Daniels on the field. What will the Lions do to them without Jaden Daniels on the field? I don't see this game being close. Lions win this game and they'll go to 6-3 again, making this NFC North race really interesting. And it's going to be fun to watch how this division progresses and see who can really end up on the top of this hill at the end of the year. But anyways, Lions win this game pretty easily. I feel bad for the Commanders because it just sucks. Jaden Daniels really should have been taken out of that game. Their season's over. They know it for a fact. All right, when they were down by 30 points or 28 points at halftime, it was over. All right, it was 31 points. My bad. The season was over for them. It's a lost cause. So, this Commanders team is cooked, and the Lions should win this game pretty easily. I got the Lions winning. All right, next game is a divisional battle, and we have the Los Angeles Rams versus the 49ers. the injured 49ers, I think their magic is going to run out this game. You know, I mean, obviously, I know the Seahawks play the Rams next week after the Cardinals, but, it'd be bad for divisional wise if the Niners sweep the Rams because, well, that'd be bad because then we kind of have to match that. It's just we need the Rams to win this game. Unfortunately, I don't want them to win. I wish both. Honestly, I wish they could tie, but ties count as wins apparently or something, or they're pretty. They can elevate a team pretty a lot in like those kind of stuff. So don't want that either. The Rams are a better team. Let's just face it. Even if the Niners were healthy, I believe the Rams are a better team. Matthew Stafford's been playing very well. Puka Nakua's been playing well. Devontae Adams has been playing well. This Rams team is good. This Rams team is better. The only thing this Niners team has is Christian McCaffrey. That's all they have. All right, and I don't know if Brock Purdy's back this game, but Mac Jones. I mean, he's all right. I mean, he's not that good. People are like, oh, he went like 13, like he threw a bunch of completions right last week. I'm like, yeah, they're playing the Giants. It's not like the Giants are an elite team by any means. Um, I hate the 49ers, so I want the Rams to win this game. Also, to put them at six, put the Niners at 6-4, and essentially kind of make it harder for them to win the division or get close to it. So, I got the Rams win this game. They're a better team. They're going to be going looking for revenge. The Rams lost last time they faced off in a stupid play call because for some reason their coach was feeling stupid. So, but I got the Rams win this game. They're not going to be stupid this time around. They're going to win, and they're going to beat the 49ers. So, I got the Rams win this one. I know the Niners are at home, but Rams should win this game pretty easily. All right, next game, our first primetime game of the week. We have technically not counting Thursday night, Steelers and Chargers. Steelers, as I mentioned, no, Chargers, as I mentioned earlier, their offensive line is very banged up. So the Steelers are coming off a statement win after being one of the best teams in the AFC. So this is a tough matchup for the Chargers. They're facing a good team where the Steelers defense might be back, but I don't know. Sorry, excuse me. This is a tough game, because like the Chargers are a good team, but their offensive line is really banged up. The Steelers are a good team, but they can sometimes be inconsistent. And their defense, most importantly, can go from, well, playing lights out to not being able to stop a nosebleed. So we'll have to see if the defense can keep up their performance from last week against the Colts, where they forced like 6 or 5 turnovers. It's a tough game for the Chargers, especially if they want to stay in that divisional race with the Broncos, who are, well, a game ahead of them. They're 7-2. The Chargers are 6-3. My bad, they're not a game ahead of them, but sort of, I guess, if you want to count it. But it's tight between those two teams. The Chiefs are just kind of hanging at the back. The Chiefs can come back at any moment. So it's an important game for both teams because the Steelers know the Ravens are desperate too. The Ravens are trying to make a comeback, and the Chargers know the Broncos are right ahead of them, and the Chiefs are right behind them. They got to stay ahead of the Chiefs, and they want to try to surpass the Broncos because they already beat the Broncos earlier this year. So it's pretty big for them to win this game. Obviously not saying they're playing the Broncos, but they need to stay close to them record-wise. So I believe the Chargers are a better team on paper, right? Even with their injured offensive line, I think the Chargers have a better offense. The Steelers' offense is pretty mediocre, in my opinion. Their defense is good when it wants to be. I don't know. Justin Herbert's a very good quarterback. He's not Daniel Jones. He's better. And they won't be able to bully him as much as they did bully Daniel Jones. So, I got the Chargers winning this game. I think they can make a good, nice win, a nice statement win, get them to 7-3, keep them right behind the Broncos. So, Chargers win this game. It'll be a nice game, though, but Chargers will ultimately win, I think. All right, final game of Week 10. We have the Philadelphia Eagles going against the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers sit at 5-2-1. The Eagles are 6-2. They're coming off a nice bye. Their offense hasn't been cooking 100%. A.J. Brown hasn't gained a whole lot of targets. They've kind of neglected him. This Eagles team is coming off a bye. This Packers team just lost at home. But we cannot forget that the Packers lost to the Eagles in the playoffs last year. Was it last year? Last year. They lost to the Eagles one year. Was it the last year or the year before? But they lost the Eagles. This Eagles team is very good still. I think they're very good. This Packers team, they had a tough loss to the Panthers at home, by the way. They are favored by like 14 points or so. It's a interesting game to predict because, oh my god, wait a minute. I missed a game of my predictions. I missed the Saints and Panthers. I'll add that after this. I just realized we'll get into that in a second. But the Eagles, if they can obviously get AJ Brown going, get the run game going, rely on their playmakers, play well, play good defense, stop the Packers offense because the Packers offense is good too. They can win this game. I am leaning with the Eagles. I think they're coming off a bye. The Packers are coming off a tough loss at home. You know, the Eagles they're a good team. Let's not forget that they're 6-2. They're still solid. They're still good. Just get AJ Brown going, get your offense going, get your offense together, and they should win this game. I don't know if it'd be close because last time they played in the playoffs, it wasn't really close either. The Packers played like shit, so I don't know, man. I'm leaning with the Eagles though. I think the Eagles can win this game. It'll be close though. I think it'll be closer to the playoffs game. But at the end of the day, Eagles will win this game. Probably by a touchdown, maybe a field goal. But Eagles win over the Packers, and then we'll get to the Saints game because I can't believe I forgot about that one. It's the Saints. Who cares about them, right? All right, next matchup because I cannot believe I forgot about this one earlier. We have the New Orleans Saints versus the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are coming off a nice win over the Packers. The Saints, I think they're coming off a bye, right? Yeah, because the last time they played was the Bucks, and they didn't play this week, did they? No, wait, they played the Rams. They got touched by the Rams. I forgot. I know the Panthers are inconsistent. You know, they'll lose a game where they shouldn't lose, or maybe they'll get their ass kicked by a good team, and then they'll come back and beat another good team, and then go lose to a bad team. That's not going to happen here. The Saints are awful. They are 1-8. They are arguably one of the worst teams. They're in a race to get the number one overall pick with the Titans and Jets and the Browns. All right. So yeah, you know, this Saints team is terrible. Um, it's not good. It's not good. I don't care what the Panthers do. The Panthers could let Andy Dalton start and they'd win. They could let practically anybody start at quarterback and they'd find a way to win because the Saints team is just not good. Their one win over the Giants was generally a fluke. And this team would be winless if it wasn't for that one game. So, I mean, the Saints are generationally bad. They're a awful team. And this is going to be a multi-year rebuild for them. It is going to be a long time before this team is able to compete at all. It's going to be a long time before they're close to competing. So, Panthers are a better team. Panthers should win this game pretty easily. Yeah. So that is the Week 10 predictions. I cannot believe, again, I almost forgot about that game entirely. Um, but yeah, so I feel confident with most of my picks. I feel like, you know, if I think back on them, you know, the only ones I could again flip on is the Browns and Jets because that's a shit show matchup. Every other game, you know, seems like a solid lock in my opinion. You know, I don't think the Niners can beat the Rams again, you know. The Rams are playing with the aspiration, you know, to win the division themselves, and they know if they can beat the Niners, they are going to be one step closer to doing that, or at least, you know, have a better chance of doing that. So, because if they get swept by the Lions, I mean, that's not the Rams, the Lions, jeez. If the Rams get swept by the 49ers, it's going to be, you know, a little difficult to win that division. Because especially, let's just say again, the Seahawks and the Rams end up with a same record at the end of the year, but the Seahawks split with the Rams, and the Rams, gee, I'm sorry, the Seahawks split with the Niners, and the Rams get swept by them. I mean, yeah. So, the Rams, you know, again, I'm confident with most of my picks. So, yeah, that is my Week 10 predictions. Thank you guys for watching. I will have another video up next week probably. I'm finally doing another tier list video at some point next week. I'm going to be doing a part 2 to NFL teams that are cooked. That'll be coming out later on as well. And yeah, that's kind of the plan. I want to get more videos out, but work's been keeping me busy. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.